Hello, welcome to another video on this channel. If you're visiting the channel for the first time, this is Rini Rose Matthew. I'm an author and a language trainer. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy about many subscribers who comment the takeaway from every video. I came across a few subscribers who do that, which means that they listen to the complete video, as I always request. And if you're visiting the channel for the first time, I told you who I am. You can also go through the description of the channel. You'll get details about the channel and also about me, the creator. One more request, please scroll down and look at the other videos too. The thumbnail will help you because most of your questions are repeated and they've already been answered through my videos. Okay, now coming to today's topic. These are some of the problems that you face at school as parents, as teachers, and as students. During your school days, you must have come across a lot of problems, sometimes issues that were out of your control. And sometimes it's difficult to think beyond them, right? Now, I'll make it very clear to you. These highlights are not to complain. It is not to put down anyone. But if you understand them, you will be able to tackle it better. All right? So, some of the learners who come to me, they always share with me that I did not get an opportunity to study in an English medium school. And because of that, I'm not able to speak good English. And they keep on feeling bad. Some of them keep complaining. Yesterday, I came across a learner. She came for sessions to me and she said, I was put up in a non-English medium school. And right now she's a mother of two children. And she found it really hard to even teach her children from the textbooks. So she took that up as a challenge and started learning English. She said, I studied English when I was a child at school, during my school days. But now I understand I need to learn. So she started learning pronunciation, reading, listening, everything together. And she speaks beautiful English. She was speaking to me yesterday. So good vocabulary, fairly good pronunciation, good sentence formation. So those were the limits that she faced. Yes, so you will have a lot of limits. Even I had my own limits. I'm going to share my personal story and my evolution as a learner of the English language since childhood. Everything did not come to me just like that. It was really difficult. You won't believe. Okay, so that will be shared in another video. Now, coming to today's topic, the first point is schools always will have a structure. I'm not talking about discipline. We have access to both national and international curriculum. Varieties are there, and most of them are structured. Only a few syllabi or some curriculum will give you the flexibility to both teachers and students to evolve as a self-learner. Self-learning is like you can take your own pace and work at your own pace. But coming to most of the other curriculum, I'm not mentioning any of them. They have a structure and there's a purpose for it. They have got objectives. So it's sometimes difficult to allow the children to learn at their pace. We have to finish portions within 3 months, within 1 month, and then appear for the exam. So we cannot complain. We cannot just keep on blaming. Right? So structure is sometimes a problem, especially when it comes to a language. And that is why language is treated as a subject during your school days. So some of the children, they take initiative and because of the interest, they start reading along with their subjects and academics. I will tell you, like you will be given an English text, English reader during your school days, but how many of you take time to read outside the text? Yes, we don't get time. Most of the children do not get time. They don't find time. So like that, there are some limitations. There'll be some restrictions. So first point is structure. Structure creates problems sometimes. Structure within the school, outside the school, it will be difficult. Some people find it difficult to access books. Some people will not be blessed with good teachers. Some people will really find it difficult to think out of the structure. That's the meaning of the first point. The second point is most of the schools claim to be doing this. Listening, speaking, reading, writing, of course, it's there. Many of the schools are changing, but still, you have to do it at a pace that allows the learner, that is a student, to work on his or her own style. You have to work with a particular style. We cannot compel. Sometimes teachers will ask you to write essays and you have to submit it tomorrow or within a stipulated time. And that is good. You need to have a time frame, but sometimes we put pressure. Have the framework, have discipline, but putting so much of pressure sometimes discourages a child. It induces fear because the child will not know how to write an essay. And it makes it quite difficult for the child. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not talking about discipline. You shouldn't have discipline. All right? So it doesn't work for some of the curriculum. The other point is most of the schools teach English. It treats English as a subject, not as a language. Only after you finish your college studies, you will realize that, oh my God, I don't have the communication skills. I cannot speak fluently. I cannot frame sentences. All those problems come into being. Even if you're not put in an English medium school, some children make it a point. They take it up as a challenge to read outside the structure and work. Because I've come across a lot of students who speak beautiful English, and you ask them, where did you study? They'll say, not in an English medium school. So that is also there. It's all in the mind. Okay. Now coming to the second point. So I just talked about treating it as a subject. You do all the grammar exercises, you submit everything, and then you get it corrected. And some of the children, they're so good in the subject that they score 98%. And parents also sometimes say, my child is very good in English or Hindi or Sanskrit. This is applicable to all the languages. And they say, oh, she's very studious. He's very studious. And that is enough to make him speak in the future. Subject is more connected. It's connected with academics. All right, there's a very big difference, and most of the parents and sometimes the teachers also do not identify this. It's very important. That's where your learning begins. And that's the first point you realize after you finish your schooling. Okay. Now, the next point is, there are a lot of points that I'm mentioning through this video. It's good if you can take them down or listen to it again and again if you don't understand. Okay, I'll try to reduce my pace and make sure that you understand it with examples. So next point, I've written a few points here. Integrating the subjects, integration. You should understand that most of the textbooks are written in English, even your math textbook. They explain every rule, every theorem, okay, how to do a sum, how to go about it, word problems, apart from the word problems. So the connecting factor of all the subjects, between the subject, of course, between all the subjects is English. So if you cannot read and write in English, it becomes really difficult. You will not be able to read the word problem, understand, and then solve it. It has become a necessity, right? So integration, in the sense, it is the common point, the connecting point between all the subjects. So it integrates thoughts, ideas, rules, discipline, experiments, whatever you want to say, science experiments, math problems, theorems, everything. It integrates, also it connects. That's what I'm trying to convey. The next point is, most of the schools claim to speak English. I'm talking about English medium schools, but I have come across schools where the teachers speak other languages, regional languages. It's okay. I know that some of the children will not be able to understand English, but when the medium of instruction is English, try to use it at least for 90% of the time. I will say 100%, but still sometimes it's difficult. But some teachers, some parents, and sometimes children also, they try to communicate in the regional language, and that is encouraged by some of the subject teachers, and it becomes a problem. You will not evolve as a learner then. That's very important. The medium of instruction is important. Okay. The next point is reading. It happens only in the library. I'm talking about teachers also. Students, okay, they will read, they will have time. Most of the teachers are not given the reading time. Sometimes they read the newspaper if they have a habit. Otherwise, they say, I don't have time, and they are not updated. Especially when it comes to language teachers, you need to update yourself if you're listening to me. It's very important. And sometimes they don't find the time, they don't have the time literally to read something outside the books that they handle. Actually, I feel it's not correct. When I was a teacher, when I was working with a school, I did not have time and I always used to feel bad. It's an offense. It was an offense for me. All right. So find time to read something outside the text. Update yourself at least in a week if you don't find time. And reading is very important. If you can spare 1 hour during school hours, it's important to actually read. I have come across certain managements who feel, oh, the teacher is reading, it's because the teacher has got a lot of free time. Then come do some work. That shouldn't be the attitude. So if you genuinely feel that a staff is reading, then encourage her or him. It's important. Okay, there's a place, you have to designate a space, an area and all that, and people will read. It's very important. That's when the children will take you as role models. Okay, the next point is parents and communication. Sometimes teachers find it difficult to communicate with the parents. Parents find it difficult to communicate with the teachers in English. That's okay, of course, you can be bilingual. But some teachers, they're very good in communication. They know the language also. Communication, let's go to communication in this particular video because I've talked about what is not communication. Some teachers, they don't know what words to use. Fluency will be there. They will not know how to communicate and it conveys a wrong idea to the parents. Okay, this happens. So be very careful with your body language, the way you use words and everything. It should be clear. You're speaking about their own child to them, so make it very clear, make it polite. You should be very positive and optimistic about the evolving phase and the learning phase of the child. Okay, the next point is important. Some people feel that English is very easy. Either it's English is very easy or English is very difficult. You have the fear. Why don't you balance it? Especially during the school days, I have seen subject teachers who tell themselves, oh, tomorrow it's English. And they tell the students also, you have English exam tomorrow. No, I'll take your period. You don't have much to study for English. Of course, you cannot study for an English exam. You can just prepare and maybe just go through the structure. That's all. You have to use your brains and common sense and everything. It happens with all the subjects, but still when it comes to English, Hindi, Sanskrit, Tamil, or any other language for that matter, you cannot study. How can you study? Maybe you can memorize certain points for essays. That's it. But do not take it very lightly. I have seen other subject teachers who feel that English is very easy. What's there to study? So that impression is created. It's okay. I'll take the period, or they start speaking in other languages. It's not like that. It is important just like the other subjects. And at the same time, it is a language like the other languages also. You don't have to be very scared. So I have seen learners who take it very lightly or they take it up as a burden. It's like a very big ball sitting on their head. Don't be like that. Balance. You should have some fear because some fear will always help you to take things up as a challenge and start working on it. But if you don't have any fear, if you take it very lightly, then you're going to have serious problems after your college. When you go for an interview, and if the interview is very demanding, that you should be using English during interviews and during your job application, during your work timings, then you're going to face trouble. Okay, that's the point. The next point is the knowledge of the teacher is very important. Coming to the language teachers, most of the language teachers, we call them language teachers, but they actually treat the language as a subject. I'm not talking about the international curriculum. Okay, international curriculum is different. They operate in a different way. I've taught in international schools. But when it comes to knowledge of the teacher, some teachers, they don't update their knowledge. They will not be able to explain it with lot of practical sense, and that makes it difficult for the child to understand. Okay, so sometimes you have to give personal attention to the child and make him or her understand. Understand in the sense, at least try to identify with what you're trying to convey. The word understand is very basic. it doesn't convey the right sense, but still at least identify, realize, recognize, and try to create something out of what you're trying to say. That is more than enough. So knowledge of the teacher is very important when it comes to any subject. Solid knowledge should be there, subject knowledge should be there. At the same time, you should be updated. It's very important, and preparation is important. You need to prepare before you go to the class. So all these are some of the issues faced during school days. Myself being a teacher's trainer, I have seen a lot of teachers who walk into the classroom without any preparation. Yes, I've come across people like that, and sometimes they are not caught also. Some management do not take it very seriously. Okay, anyway, so what you need to do is, when you identify certain areas, you cannot change people, you need to change yourself during such unprecedented and such situations, because those are beyond your control, but you can change yourself. Put some hard work, take extra effort, learn some new words, make sentences. Don't use very high-tech words that you're not sure of, but make sure that you're conveying the right ideas. Okay, create as many thoughts as possible, and above all, be positive about whatever you're doing. So I hope this video helped you, and thank you for staying with me. This is Rini Rose Matthew. Bye bye.